You know, you asked me to come today to talk about the paradigm shift, right? Big words. What is that? What the heck does that mean?
Well, we've been trying to figure it out, right? So
Exactly.
what does that mean? But really, it's everyone has an ability, and they are a manager and a steward. We can attend to our systems, our system thinking for our natural resources, our land, and our water. Everyone.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a shift.
It's
There are opportunities.
well, opportunities. My goodness. This year has been so hard for us throughout the West, but the heat, the drought, and you were invited in to help some communities this year with their water shortages. And Mendocino, I think somebody's on the line from Mendocino. And I came and attended the workshop that you held there, and you said something that blew me away. Because here we are in a community that is having to ship water in. It's a water shortage. It's very serious. And as you were talking about what could be different, you talked about that there were opportunities for abundance, even in the midst of this drought. What did you mean by that?
I just have to give a shout out to Brad Lancaster right now. So when I use the word abundance, I want to make sure, Brad, if you're out there and you're listening, abundance is truly abundance, but there is also abundance. Okay. So if we have abundance in our lives, and we will be happier, our needs are met, and we are thriving, and we are doing the abundance. So I just have to call out before I go into abundance. Thank you, Brad Lancaster, for always bringing that out to view. But there are opportunities that are low-hanging fruit that are right under our feet. And we can have rehydration from where there's problems, such as from wastewater, we can use it differently. We could use different plants. We can grow soils with something as easy as just mulching or doing healthy soil practices. We can create and work with systems to create that abundance. And it's actually available everywhere. There's nutrients and water right under our feet, right in our own homes, in our businesses, and wherever we work and play. So those natural-based systems and working with those systems are right with us. And so that's what I meant.
So if the abundance, water abundance is all around us, why don't we see it? How do we think differently about it?
Yeah, sometimes we don't see it. And I think if we want to throw up our first slide, sometimes we are oriented to just look a certain way. We don't necessarily always orient to understanding what's in front of our feet. So if we start to look behind us and around us and under our buildings, around our buildings, with the soil, with the systems, be part of the water cycle, be part of the nutrient cycle and the carbon cycle. If we just look around us, everything we need is here.
You know, one of the things I know you've worked on with your team, and I saw it presented actually at Mendocino, was a really interesting, I think you called it a kit, a local kit of actions. As you were working your way, kind of Pac-Manning your way through them, can you give us some examples to kick off this day?
I would definitely. I mean, we're going to be talking about this kit all day, by the way. And when we say toolkit, we just mean that there's not one approach that's going to solve everyone's problems. There's not one. There's a diverse portfolio. You have a toolkit, and it's going to be your toolkit. It's what works for you. We're just trying to put the constellation, that Big Dipper, out there. And we're going to talk about how can you use it, or what else is missing from your place. But before we go into the tools, if you could pull up the next slide, I want to make sure we're talking about what that can give us. And this is immediately what we can do with some of these tools. And I'm not going to go into them just immediately, but we can have on the image that you're seeing now, we can have a dehydrated landscape where in a drought, we have an area, we have a tank if you're lucky enough, right? That you can have water shipped in if your well quality goes south, right? You shouldn't say south. If your well quality is poor, if your well runs dry.
Mhm.
We have a dehydrated landscape when you're not watering because of the drought. Your lawn turns brown. We don't want that to happen, right? You actually want to have a healthy landscape. You have dehydrated trees. You have risk of habitat loss. You have more energy that's spent to cool your home. Now, how do we get to the other side of the picture? If you look to the left side, we can use the water that falls on our roof and capture it in a tank. Of course, that's called rainwater capture. Some people use barrels. You can actually capture more than just a barrel size. You can most California homes, even down south where it doesn't rain as much, can capture 15 to 20,000 gallons. That's half of what you need in an emergency for a family of 4. So you can capture that and you can reuse it. You can create hydration on your property. You can flush your toilets with it. You can do your laundry with it. So that's just the rain that falls on your roof. There's a much bigger property than just our rooftops at our businesses, at our commercial industries, at our homes. There's land. The water falls on the land, and we can do really simple things that are in the toolkit to just help water stay there, hydrate, and create habitat, shade, and really sequester carbon, provide pollinator, songbird habitat, and really a nice place for us to be, a healthy place for us to live and work and play. There's a lot of simple things in that toolkit. There's gray water that works in most places. That gray water is a nuisance in some cases to some septic systems. Maybe it's not, but it's a benefit that we can use all over the state to use when it's hot out. Plants need to get irrigated. We don't need to use our critical potable water supply. And it's really easy. Everything that was in that slide can be done in a week. It can be done as community projects. It can be done with pizza and beer work parties. That's just the tip of the iceberg of the toolkit. So I just want to make sure we're all orienting towards, we're having some pressures on us now. And so part of this toolkit can help us give relief right now.
One quick last question, because I know we have to get into and I'm looking forward to getting into the meat of the presentations. But a lot of times people say, I'm special, or my community is different. I live in the rural area. This isn't going to work for me. Or I live in an urban area. It's not going to work for me. Or it's not going to work for agricultural lands. Touch on this kind of overarching point again of why we're all in this together, but we can all do this wherever we are.
That's great, Martha. So maybe let's bring up the next slide. I don't know if that'll answer your question, but I kind of want to use it in a way that we all, again, are part of the solution. Everywhere that we live and work and play, which includes the entire watershed. There are solutions within that entire vision of a healthy, resilient community and watershed. So in that vision, we all participate. We are all part of that vision. The tools that are listed in the toolkit expand to agricultural lands, industry, for healthy forests and healthy chaparral. The tools expand to all of the lands that we, again, have as part of our watersheds and that we need to steward and attend to.
Thank you so much. I'm looking so forward to today, and thank you for this opening discussion about what we're trying to achieve. I think it's just,
Yeah.
as always, inspirational.
Thanks, Martha.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if we could go to the next slide real quick, while we're actually thinking through, and I'm just letting you all take a moment. Thanks, Martha. I want to remind everyone that we are all part of the solution here, and you are, I'm going to say it 3 or 4 times today. We're all land, water, and natural resource stewards and managers. And this is a really basic, fundamental premise that we're going to be using to look through our toolkit discussion today. And I also want to call out that this vision that you see as a diagram, it's a schematic. It may or may not resonate with you in your community where you are, but you can develop this in your own community, what your vision is. And I also want to call out that there are partners that have helped develop this vision this far. And so thank you to all of those who are listed on the screen. This toolkit and these measures that we're talking about today were done with actors, participants all over the state. So thank you.